Hey folks, I'm Jack Fossett, and welcome to this demo and review of the Keeley Eccos Delay and Looper pedal. Now in this demo we're going to focus on the delay. I'm going to give you some tones with electric and acoustic guitar. First we're going to start out with some tones, then I'm going to give you my thoughts on the pedal, and then we'll get to some more tones. Please remember to like and subscribe, and hope you enjoy. Now, this is a superb, I would call it a workstation. It's certainly a regular pedal size and everything, but this pedal does just an absolute load of stuff. I've always been impressed with how much Keeley Electronics are able to pack into these little boxes and what they're able to do. This is a superb pedal, and this is another pedal in the lineup of digital delays that give you analog warmth and analog features as well as the warmth. Now, I'm not going to harp on the specs too much of this, but I'm going to give you kind of an overview of what it does. If you're interested in more, please visit Keeley Electronics webpage. You can also find specs and things on Sweetwater and other places like that. So again, it's a tape-style digital delay that has 24-bit processing and 100% analog pure dry path. Now for modulation, a lot of different tape-style delays have different types of modulation. This one has a flanged effect that you can add to your delays, and there's a number of controls here which we'll talk about in a second. You have quarter, dotted eighth, eighth, and triplet subdivisions via a little switch here with a different mode. It does stereo or mono. You have stereo in, stereo out, and mono out. It also has foot switchable bypass tails. Now what tails means is that when you click the effect off, the repeats that existed still trail out. Right, so you don't go from a wet signal to a purely dry signal. It's a little bit more studio. It's a little more professional. Like if you're coming out of a solo and everything, you don't just all of a sudden cut into your tone. The delays from the last notes of your solo, those last couple of repeats are still going to kind of trail out. Now this also has presets, and you can use a remote control, not like a remote control. You know what I mean. You can also use a remote switcher. That's what I was looking for. You can use a remote switcher. You've got presets. You can use a remote tap. You can use an expression pedal with it. Now, I mentioned the controls. There's a lot of ways you can control this more than what it looks like on the surface. And one of the things you can do is this knob in the middle. This is your feedback knob. If you press and hold it, it clicks. Now, if you look, each knob has kind of slightly ghosted words, and each knob has dual functions. So if you hold that feedback knob down, then all of a sudden you're controlling these different functions. So this can just do just about anything you would want a delay or looper to do. Now, one of the things that I really like about it, all those features and controls aside, for me, who goes into it from a more straightforward aspect as far as a player goes, when I use a delay, I use a pretty standard delay for my own playing and my own music. I don't really get into crazy cascading repeats and loops and things like that. For me, I appreciate the fact that a pedal like this you can plug in and just get it to sound good. You can easily dial it in without needing to read the manual for 5 hours before you can figure out how to use it. That being said, if you really want to dive into it, I feel like there's also always kind of something else you can learn about this pedal, something new you can get from it if you kind of keep experimenting, keep trying, and keep learning about it. So that to me is kind of the best of both worlds. You know, you can just plug it in and play and sound great. So on the surface, it's a great delay pedal, but then there's just a whole kind of wealth more that you can do with it if you decide to go down that route. Now for this demo, I'm plugging it into a Supro Royal Reverb. It seems like a good combination because Supro and Keeley have actually collaborated on an amplifier. This is not the amplifier that they collaborated on. This amplifier is a Royal Reverb, which has actually unfortunately been discontinued. I say unfortunately because it's a superb amplifier. Plugging the Eccos into that. I'm using a Man Mariposa electric guitar. Great dual humbucking guitar, really sounds great with a Supro. Again, I'm also going to use an acoustic guitar with it. What I'm using for that is a Martin DM, which is kind of like an older version of Martin's current Custom D Classic. It's a mahogany spruce dreadnought guitar that's loaded with a K&K undersaddle pickup, and I'm plugging that into a Boss Acoustic Singer Live. Going to use the pedal with that. For some overdriven tones with the electric guitar, I'm also plugging in a Keeley Red Dirt, which is a superb overdrive pedal. I love that overdrive pedal. So you're going to get several different tones and just kind of different styles of delay that this can do. So let me know, what are your thoughts on the Keeley Eccos? Have you tried it? Do you want it? What's your experience? Please let us know in the comments. Stick around for some more tones. I'm Jack Fossett. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.